Assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to discuss the fossilized animals, or you can say not fossilized animals, but actually specifically fossilized birds, or from where the birds' lineages originate. Archaeopteryx, Eoalulavis, and the evolution of the flight. In 1861, one of the most important vertebrate fossils was found in a slate quarry in Bavaria, Germany. Slate is a low quality metamorphic rock formed from the mud shell or shale under low pressure and temperature. Quarry is the region from which something is extracted, and Bavaria is the state of the Germany. It was a fossil of the pigeon-sized animal. Archaeopteryx had a size of pigeon, and it lived during the period of the Jurassic time period, approximately 150 million years ago. It had characteristics of both reptiles and birds. It had a long reptilian tail and clawed fingers. The complete head of this specimen was not preserved, but imprints of the feathers on the tail and on the short rounded wings were the main evidence that led to the interpretation that this is a fossil of an ancient bird. Which means that here you can see that a long tail and the clawed fingers, these are the characteristics of the reptiles, but they have imprints of feathers on their wings, and this is the characteristic of birds. So you can say that this is the to some extent a missing link between reptiles and the birds. It was named Archaeopteryx. In Greek, archaeos means ancient and pteron means wings. 16 years later, a more complete fossil was discovered revealing teeth in the beak jaws. Modern birds don't have teeth in their beak-like structures, but that fossil had teeth in its beak. Here you can see the fossil of Archaeopteryx. This was a fossil found of that is Archaeopteryx, and that is the fossil um, representation shown by an artist. 4 years later, discoveries of Archaeopteryx fossils have reinforced the ideas of reptilian ancestry of the birds. Although Archaeopteryx is often thought of as an ancient bird, it is probably more accurate to think of it as a transitional stage between bird and the non-bird theropod. We are considering the Archaeopteryx is the starting point of the birds, or if we included it in the birds, but we can also say that this is a transition, a link between the birds and non-bird theropods. It seemed clear that Archaeopteryx was not the direct ancestor of the modern birds. It is not a direct ancestor of modern birds. In spite of this uncertainty, interpretations of the life cycle of Archaeopteryx have been important in the development of the hypothesis on the origin of the flight. Now we have to discuss the adaptations in the life of the Archaeopteryx, and we can relate these adaptations with the origin of the flight in birds. Here you can see these were the fossilized Archaeopteryx, and that is the transitional state between the birds and the non-theropod uh, reptiles. And these are the drawings drawn by artists to represent the structures. Okay, next, the clavicles or the wishbones of the Archaeopteryx were well developed and probably provided point of attachment for the wing muscles. These are the clavicles. These are the clavicles or the wishbones. In in modern birds, it is modified into the furcula, but here as All of you know that this is a previous bird or an ancient bird. You can say that the clavicle or wishbones are modified, actually were modified, and this bone provided the site of attachment for the muscles. Unlike in the modern bony fishes, the sternum was flat and the tail was long and bony, and wing bones and other skeletal sites for the attachment of muscles that would have been used in the flight were less developed. Sternum is the bone which is present in the center of the chest and which connect the ribs with each other. And their bone was long and bony, and wing bones were present in modern birds. No bones are present in the wings. These observations indicate that Archaeopteryx may have primarily been a glider rather than a competent flyer. Gliders do not flap their wings during flight, and while the competent or strong flyers flap their wings during the flights. Some zoologists think that the clawed digits of the wings have been used to climb trees and cling to the branches. Okay, modern birds don't have claws on the leading edge of their wings, but that animal had clawed digits on the end of the wings, and some people thought that they were used for climbing the trees and cling to the branches. A sequence in the evolution of the flight may have evolved the jumping from branch to branch or branch to ground. It was an ancient bird, so flight develops with the passage of time. First, it starts from jumping from branch to branch or branch to the ground. At some point, gliding is also involved in their life. Still later, wing flapping evolved in them, and finally, the wing powered flight evolved in them. The zoologists noted that hind limb structure of the earliest birds suggests that they have been bipedal. When zoologists studied the hind limb structure of earlier birds, they said that these birds were bipedal. It's mean they walk on two legs. By mean two, and the word poda is used for the foot. Running and hopping along the ground. Hopping is used for. It is a type of movement in which, just like you can say, animal is hanged on the ground, or to and forth movement on the same point. This or jumping, you can say. And this wing may their wings may have function in batting flying insects out of the air, or in trapping insects or other prey against the ground. It is a common observation that in facing insects or exposure to the insects is irritating phenomena. So how they prevent themselves from these insects? They bait them with their wings. A primary function of wing was not the flight, but it was protecting themselves from the insects, trapping insects and other prey against the ground. The teeth and the claws, which resemble the talon of the modern predatory birds, may have been used to grasp the prey. Okay, now what are the talons? The question arises here. Modern predatory birds have a very strong claws and feet. Very strong claws and feet of the modern predatory birds are known as talons, and it is used for grasping the prey. Grasping prey require energy and require the strong grip. Wing would have been useful in providing stability during horizontal jumps and when pursuing prey, and they would have also allowed flight over the short distances. The benefits of such flight may have led even eventually to the wing powered flight. A fossilized bird early from the Cretaceous deposits in the Spain provide additional important information on the origin of the flight, and that bird was known as the Eoalulavis. It was found in 125 million years Old deposit and wingspan of that animal was 17 centimeter, roughly same as a goldfish. This fossil showed that the Eoalulavis had a wing structure called the elula. And now, what is the function of the elula in birds? Here you can see the label diagram of the birds, and the elula is the independent thumb on the leading edge of the birds. It has approximately 3 to 5 independent feathers, and it helps in maintaining the stability or lifting of bird. Elula is present in many modern birds that indicate that complex flight mechanism associated with the slow hovering and highly maneuverability flight evolved at least 125 million years ago. That is the completion of the topic. Thank you.